amigos, aquí nos encontramos en WESLEY S TV Show. Now we are going to have Dr. Winifred that came from Texas Christian University. Dr. Horner, what do you do in Texas?
I'm a teacher in Texas. I'm a professor at Texas Christian University. And I teach teachers how to teach children.
Oh, do those teachers that you teach little children or big children?
They usually teach big children. They teach in universities and colleges. All right?
Okay. I understand that you travel a lot. Can you tell us something about your trips?
Well, I travel a lot in connection with my work, and I give lectures to people. And shall I tell you about one of my recent trips to Russia? I went to Russia, and I went on a boat, and the boat floated down the Volga River, which is a great big river in Russia. And we went from Moscow down to Volgograd, which used to be, I can't remember what it used to be.
What are the,
No, go ahead.
What are the children over there like?
The children there are pretty much like children everywhere, but they don't have any TV the way all the children in this country have, and they've never seen the programs that the children here see. They don't see the WESLEY TV show, and they probably miss a lot. So what they do is they have to sort of make their own fun, and they do lots of playing games, and in the evening, instead of watching television and games on television, they play games themselves. And instead of listening to music that on television or on their CDs or tapes, they have to make their own music. So they, in the evenings, they all get together with their families and their friends, and a lot of them play instruments, and they sing songs and make their own music.
Have you ever gone to China?
Yes, I went to China a couple of years ago, and that was fun because what I did there was to visit the children's schools. I visited some of the universities, but I visited the children's schools too. And they very, very important to them is to learn other languages besides Chinese. So they learn English, and they're not, some of our schoolrooms are quiet, not all of them, but some of them are. And our libraries, we try to keep pretty quiet. But in China, when the children are doing their lessons, they do them out loud. So they talk all the time while they're doing their lessons. So libraries are very noisy places. And of course the schoolrooms are noisy places too, because they read out loud. They don't read to themselves, they read out loud.
Could you tell us about the kids there?
Well, they're like kids here. They're full of fun, and they don't have all the good things to eat that we have. I'll tell you, they eat a lot of cabbage. Do you like cabbage?
Kind of.
Kind of? Well, they eat cabbage all the time. And do you like cucumbers?
Not really.
Well, they eat a lot of cucumbers. And they don't get very much meat, even if they wanted it, and they don't get very much cheese. So,
are the trips to those places really long?
Yes. On the airplane, they take about, to get to China, we went first to, from Dallas-Fort Worth, then we went to Seattle, and then we went over the ocean, and we were all confused on what day it was, because sometimes we were going faster than the sun. Is that possible?
I think.
So they said, well, you'll land yesterday or something like that. So the time was very, very confusing. And it took a long time to get to those places.
And the kids there, do they work a lot? Is the school very long?
Yes, they're in school a good part of the day, just the way we are. And I don't know how long their school year is. I don't know whether they got a summer vacation or Christmas vacation. Of course, they don't have Christmas the way we do. In Russia, they have St. Nicholas. And if they put their shoe outside the door, their bedroom door on St. Nicholas Day, then St. Nicholas will put candy in their shoes.
Yes. Oh, if they do have summer, what would they do during the summer? Celebrate?
Celebrate, but also a lot of them work. They work with their families. They go out and help in the family garden, and they help with the family cooking. And they work very, very hard there just to have enough to eat. And they play games just the way we do, too.
Do people there make a lot of money, or is it hard to get money there?
Now, are we talking about Russia or China?
Russia.
Russia, the government used to give them everything. That was the communist form of government. For instance, if you wanted to ride the subway in Russia or the bus, you didn't have to pay anything. They were all free. And now they have to pay something. And they don't have very much money. They don't have very much money. But, you know, they were buying things, too. Some of the young people are making money.
And what jobs would they do?
Well, anything that they could. One of the most popular restaurant in Moscow is McDonald's. And when you go by McDonald's, and it looks just like our McDonald's here do, there'll be long, long lines of people waiting to go in. They really do like McDonald's.
Do they have any, like, other Burger King or?
No, McDonald's is the only one, I think, so far that has really gone in and opened a big restaurant. And they have a big one in downtown. They have a big McDonald's in downtown Moscow. Everyone likes to go to it. The children are lined up with their parents, and it's open 24 hours. And you can go in and get an American hamburger in the middle of the night.
Do they eat anything if they have to? Like, they don't eat cereal in the morning like we do they?
Yes, they have a different kind of grain in Russia that they eat. It tastes like ours.
And for lunch, what would they eat?
More cucumbers and more cabbage.
For dinner, too?
Probably more cucumbers and more cabbage and lots of potatoes. They don't have the good vegetables that we have. I'll tell you one thing they had in Russia was Snicker bars. They had lots of Snicker bars. And I thought that was funny. They like Snicker bars.
Do a lot of them in Russia like eat all these candies? Do they have candies to eat?
Not as much as we do. They don't have them.
No. Oh. In China now, like, what would they eat?
Well, they eat a lot of vegetables, and they don't eat sugar. We all got very, very hungry for any kind of a dessert or a cookie, and they simply do not eat sweet foods, and they go everywhere on their bicycles. Do you have a bicycle?
Yeah, I do.
And do you go everywhere on it?
Yeah.
Well, over there the streets are crowded with bicycles, and they all have little bells on them, And so when you go out in the street, there'll be hundreds of bicycles, and they're all going, tinkle, 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 tinkle. And it's a funny sound.
Do they have cars there?
That individuals just don't have cars unless they're very, very rich, and nobody's very rich. Maybe if they worked for the government, they would have a car. But the professors that we've talked to, they all came on their bikes. And they'd have very small apartments. They just live in 2 or 3 rooms. They don't have big houses the way a lot of us do over here. Of course, a lot of us don't, too. But no one over there has a big house. They all have little apartments.
Oh, and over there, are people rich like here? No?
Not really. There are no very rich people, but there are no very poor people. The government pretty much takes care of people.
Well, is the government very nice to the people?
The Chinese seem to be very proud of their country, and they're proud of their government. The way we are, really.
Do they, ever have fights in China? Wars?
I suppose they do, but not recently, I don't believe.
So it's a peaceful country there.
Well, it didn't used to be. They had warlords who fought with each other a lot, but not anymore.
Oh, talking about your teaching,
Yes.
is Texas where you live?
Well, our home is in Missouri, and then I teach 4 months out of the year in Texas. So I fly back and forth on the airplane.
So every year, 4 months, you go teaching, and then you come back?
That's right. That's right.
So you live in Missouri?
Yes.
Where in Missouri?
I live right in the center of the state.
You do? What's it called?
Columbia. It's not the gem of the ocean. Have you ever heard of Columbia, the gem of the ocean?
Yeah.
This is Columbia, the gem of Missouri. How's that?
Better.
Okay.
Is teaching very fun? Or
Yes, it's lots of fun. Because while I'm teaching, telling my students things, I'm learning things from my students.
Oh.
I learn a lot from my students. I think sometimes children don't realize that while they're learning, the teacher's learning also. That they're teaching the teacher. That's the way it works.
Oh. So, in Columbia, do you spend what do you do during your time in Columbia?
Well, I write. I'm an author, and I write books.
Have you ever wrote any books?
Yes, I've written a lot of books, but they're not books that you and your friends would like very much. they're scholarly books.
Oh, could you name one of your books?
Yes, the present state of scholarship in rhetoric. I know.
I wonder what that means.
Well, and I go to Scotland a lot, and I study the teachers in Scotland, what they do, what their schools are like. And their schools are like ours, a lot. So, do you read books?
Yeah, I read books. Right now I got a book. It's called My Side of the Mountain. It's about this kid that runs away from home, but their mom and dad say it's okay.
Really?
Because they think, he's going to come back the next day.
Oh.
But then, he really does run away into the woods. And he's gone for already half a year. And now the part where I'm reading is he's in winter and almost in spring.
Goodness.
And he meets his dad and everything.
And you'd like to read?
Yeah. I've read some of the Boxcar Children books.
Uh-huh.
And some other books. It's pretty fun to read.
It's you like to read as much as you like to watch television?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, you see something and someone speaks for you on television, and on television you read and you get more interested. That makes you want to read more, and that's the same thing with TV. You know, it makes you really interested. Like you see this movie, oh, I want to see that, and then you watch it. It's just like reading.
Well, but with reading, you do more imagining in your head, don't you?
Yeah, it's more fun. You have imaginations like, could I go make this? Could I do that? But on television, you just watch it, and you don't really have imagination. Like, they have it for you.
Right. They do it for you. And that's why I think reading is so much fun, because they tell you that there was a house in the woods, and that way, instead of a picture on TV, you have to make that in your head. And I like that, because I like to make my own pictures. I don't always want to have somebody else making a picture for me. Do you know?
Yeah, I like that too. So, now, do you have a message for the kids?
Well, I think the best message I could tell anyone, big children, little children, would be to read. Because I think reading makes you use your imagination. It teaches you how to build your own pictures in your mind, so you don't have to watch TV to get a picture. You can make it yourself. And then you can read about all sorts of different people and different countries. And the more you learn about other people and other countries, the better you'll be, right?
Yeah, I have a message for the kids too. You should read, 'cause sometimes watching television could be too much, and sometimes you would it'd be too much